What's going on, car family? I'm Ben Wayne. This is the 2021 Jaguar F-Type R. Thanks for joining me in another video, and today we're gonna go on a quick test drive and see what this car is about. So I'm sure the first thing that you guys have noticed is that awesome exhaust note, which just sounds absolutely incredible. Top, up, or down, everybody can hear you because I always keep that exhaust button on. So it just sounds absolutely amazing and just truly brings this car to life. So let's start off with the looks. So this car is done in about a $5,000 metallic paintwork. Sometimes it looks bronze, other times it looks pewter. It really just depends on how the light is hitting the car. So the overall proportions of this car, it looks like a traditional Roadster with a fairly long hood compared to the rest of the car. The rear of the car has an extremely short tail, and the wheels have been pushed out to the edges, giving it a really nice and planted look. So from the front of the car, you can tell that this is the refresh model. The model that was done before the refresh had a little bit more character, in my opinion. Looked a little bit more like a Jaguar with the larger headlamps. But overall, the front of this looks good with the new slim LED headlamps as well. It has a nice and sophisticated look to it. Now, it does have a huge clamshell hood, which opens up backwards. So it kind of opens up towards the front of the car, which is kind of cool. Underneath that hood, what you're getting is a 5-liter supercharged V8, and it delivers on power and sound. You hear that? So like I said, it delivers on power and sound. So you're looking at about 575 horsepower and then 516 pound-feet of torque. Now, it's connected to an 8-speed automatic transmission, which, as you can tell, shifts fairly quickly. Delivers 0 to 60 in just 3.5 seconds. So when it comes to performance, this F-Type R truly delivers. It's an astounding car to drive, really. You know, once you shift at about 4,500 RPM, that's the sweet spot to give you that crackle. And I never get tired of it. It sounds just truly amazing. So coming over to the side profile, you have these large 20-inch black wheels. Really look nice with the overall proportions of the vehicle. And then again, you have a retractable soft top because this is the Roadster version. So the top can be raised or lowered at speeds. It blocks out the sound significantly, so it's not always a loud environment if you don't want it to be. If you had a long day at work and you want to ride home with the top up and a nice peaceful environment, you can do that. The exhaust note still comes through, but aside from that, not much noise is coming into the cabin. Now, the rear of the car, again, it's fairly short. You do have a nice sculpted shape back there. It's kind of complex shapes with the car's hips and then the trunk lid. So this car has some serious hips on it. And then the trunk lid has an integrated spoiler incorporated into the design, which raises at speed. There's also a button here that you can control the spoiler with manually as well. Now, the trunk is kind of funky. Once you lift up the trunk, you know, you still have to put objects over the rear of the car because the trunk just is a thin slab. So it kind of leaves the bottom portion still attached to the remainder of the car. As far as trunk space, this car is challenged. You can barely fit a pizza box back there. Ask me how I know. So you're looking at about 7 cubic feet of storage in the trunk there. But quite frankly, nobody's buying a vehicle like this for its practicality, right? You know, you're buying it for the go factor, the looks and the performance that it delivers. You know, the sound. One thing I will say is, when compared to some of its competition like the AMG GT, you know, the AMG GT has a bi-turbo setup, and that kind of mutes the exhaust a little bit. Here, You hear that? That exhaust is really able to come to life because it has a supercharger instead of the turbos. And I really love the sound of this car. I think that's, for me, the #1 factor. That snap, crackle, and pop. Now, I guess I have to talk a little bit about the interior instead of just talking about the sound, so I'll do that. As you can see, the interior is covered in a beautiful tan leather. The seats are extremely comfortable. They keep you planted with this sideball string here, and overall, I think they really add to the beauty of the interior, you know, with the pattern and the silver accents that are done up here with the seats. So there's a lot of comfort in this vehicle, even though it's a bit smaller than, like I said, the AMG GT, but the comfortability is there. Now, you do have an option to have heated seats as well. Now, the center console, you'll notice that it has air conditioning vents. If I turn off the heat here, you'll notice that the air conditioning vents lower back into the center console. So that's pretty slick. I'm guessing the goal of that was to provide an overall clean look to the interior, which I can say, you know, it helps do that. It definitely helps do that. Not that I mind seeing air conditioning vents. Let me turn the heat back on because it's absolutely freezing. I had to do this review with the top down though, because this is a Roadster. Coming lower, you do have a touchscreen display system here. I will say that in certain lighting, this infotainment system completely disappears. You can't see anything on it if the light hits it just right. So that is a major fumble on Jaguar's part. There have been times where I've been backing up and I can't even see anything on the screen because the daylight just completely washes it out. So hopefully that is something that they decide to address later on. Coming lower, you do have simple dials here for your air conditioning system. Simple to use. You don't have to look and take your eyes off the road to see what you're doing when it comes to controlling the climate. And I think that's a factor that deserves to be mentioned. You do also have physical buttons underneath those air conditioner knobs as well. I just can't get enough of the sound in this car, really. The steering wheel itself is heated, which is the only reason why I don't have gloves on right now. And behind the steering wheel sits a digital instrument cluster. Right, so that's been updated for this model year as well. People are probably like, what is going on? It's so early in the morning. Who's driving erratically like this? I feel like I always get cars like this in the dead of winter, but I'm not complaining. So the top of the dash is covered in a nice leather. I love how they put the tan on the passenger side instead of the driver's side. You know, a lot of cars, you know, for example, like the Corvette we reviewed about a year ago, they had the tan on the dash, and what that does is create a glare effect on the windshield, so it kind of hinders your view. It looks cool until you're driving, so I like how they decided to keep the black on my side and then the tan on the passenger side. Door panels are just as luxurious as the rest of the vehicle. Covered in leather, they feature gloss black accents. You have controls for your seats as well, blacked out door handles, and of course just a little bit of storage on the door panels as well. Enough for my hand sanitizer and a bottle of water. That's about it. Again, you know, people don't buy this car for the practicality. They buy it for the fun factor and probably that exhaust note. This is one of the best V8s that I've driven recently. The best sounding, at least. It's just an amazing sounding car, honestly. Gosh, this car just makes you want to shift for no reason, really. My fuel gauge just came on, and that's fine because they're coming to pick up this car in about another hour or so. And if I give back a car like this with gas still in it, I'm doing something wrong, honestly. This is truly a looker. It's attention grabbing. People stop you everywhere you go to talk to you about it. It's a conversation piece. And I love, one of the factors I love that I forgot to mention is the rear. I love how the exhaust pipes stick out. The real exhaust pipes stick out the rear of the car. And it just provides a nice, meaty, and aggressive factor when looking at this car from the back, honestly. But overall, this is an amazing car. Price point for this one, as shown, is about $125,000, right? So that's about 20 grand cheaper than the AMG GT convertible that we tested. If you're a Jaguar fan, that maybe that's something to consider. When compared directly to the AMG GT or the 911 Carrera, there are a few things I wish that they would change. For example, the shift paddles behind the steering wheel feel a little plasticky for this price point. We're talking way past 100 grand. The buttons for the windows are a little plasticky too. So, those are minor tweaks they could make to this car to make you feel like you're getting a little bit more for the money. But overall, the handling is on point. We're talking a 51% and 49% weight distribution here, which is ideal for a car like this. So the handling is there, the fun factor is there, the looks are definitely there. This is a beauty, and the noise factor is definitely there. So you guys let me know what you think about this car in the comment section. Would love to hear your thoughts. Would you take this over a Porsche 911 Carrera or an AMG GT? Let me know. I've driven all three, and I'd say that this is definitely a fun car. But as far as the handling of the 911, I don't think anybody can see that. Porsche specializes in that. And then the looks of the AMG GT do it just a little bit more for me, in my opinion. Of course, I'm a Mercedes fan. You guys know that. But overall, let me know what you guys would take. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this car. What do you think about that exhaust note? And until next time, I'm Ben Wayne, the automotive reviewer that YouTube deserves. I'll catch you guys in the next one.